Hello and welcome to another episode with me, Live with Liv.Chacha. It's week 7 and this week is about entrepreneurial fire. Yes. And this week I'm going to talk about number 1, failure is good. Number 2, the dog and the rabbit, or we can also call it the white rabbit, like what we are always chasing. 3, Peter's weaknesses or weakness and strength. 4, willpower versus inspiration. And 5, he answers a lot of questions from the owner, John Lee Duns, on the podcast EO Fire. Yeah. Okay, let's go. So, failure. Peter, he says, failure is inevitable and failures are important. They are the reason that we grow. And I've actually taken this a lot into my own life lately. Sometimes when I teach new classes, I get very nervous, and like when it's a new subject and I'm not sure what the students are expecting, and I don't have like this repertoire built with movements and exercises or choreographies that I know that I want to teach them. It's always a bit stressful the first couple of classes because it's kind of try and error, and sometimes I really do error, and sometimes things go really well. Luckily, I am a teacher who really invite my students to talk to me, and I try to create an environment where they can feel secure, where they are calm and confident, and I ask them what they like. I also give them choices and let them vote on what we're doing. I talk to them, ask them what they like, and of course I'm also a very empathic person, so I feel a lot what's going on in the room. By the way, I think everyone can do that. It's a matter of practicing. And so I get a lot of feedback, not just from their words, but from just feeling into what's going on. And the most horrible thing is when I can just feel that they're not enjoying themselves, it's not what they expected. Or they want something different, or they're judging me. Like, I think we in general in society have a big tendency to judge teachers very harsh, and it can be hard to be on the other side. Like, we are all just humans and we make lots of mistakes, and that's why I really try to cultivate this place where they can see that I'm also just a person, and I'm also sweaty, and I'm also make mistakes, and I also forget the choreography or exercises, or I'm also sore, or I also have bad days. So I try to create a community where they also have a bit more compassion for each other and for themselves. And when they have compassion for themselves, they also have more compassion for me, which is great. So I guess what I want to say is that failure is completely okay, and I really try to bring that into my own classes when I teach. And I really am practicing very hard to to allow myself to fail and to try and just do, instead of being so scared of not being good enough or failing, because we are good enough, right? We are born good enough. Yeah. Peter, he says, if we beat ourselves up over the mistakes or tie net worth, so like money worth, net worth, no, like, so your own personal worth to money worth, then we won't have the necessary abilities to go out and start a business again. So like, imagine if you fail with a business and you're just feeling so down, and you feel like the failure that you did in the business is like a personal failure, showing that you are a failure, then we don't have the abilities to start a new business or the foundation. And instead of seeing it like you or I am the failure, then trying to see that from that failure we grow, we learn so much. Whenever we make a mistake, that's learning, and that's amazing, and it's part of life, and it's part of why we are here, right? To grow. Yeah. And he says that to start a new business, it requires trust and just being willing to fail. And I think in our society we should just really try and make it more okay to fail, to really show people you have to fail. Like, that's how we learn. And it's so silly that we're creating a place where everybody is so scared of failing that we're not living to our full potential. We're not living our passion. We're not following our dreams because we're scared that we will fail, and we're scared that that will then mean that we're not good enough. Yeah, let's get out of that. Then he says maturing emotionally is a choice. Like, he was himself stuck in self-pity when he lost his first company, and he had to fire a bunch of people and tell them, I can't pay you anymore, the company has to close. It was his worst experience with business, his worst failure, or worst experience with failing. And he was super stuck in self-pity, and then he had to like get himself up on the horse again and learn to see that the bends in the river are shortcuts instead of seeing them as setbacks. Yeah, so like, if a failure or something comes up and it feels like a setback, maybe it's a shortcut, because in that you learn something that later on will help you move faster in something. Yeah. Peter says, I class my failure as my greatest capital. So great. He was trying to close the gap inside himself with 8 businesses, and that created a monster. And you can't close this gap inside yourself by working or having businesses. It's realizing that you are good enough, right? Yes, that was it about failure. Then the second point, like this, I should do it like this, is is the dog and the rabbit. So Peter often talks about this dog race where there's this rabbit, electric rabbit, zooming around, and the dogs are trying to catch it. And the game is made in such a way that the dogs will never, ever, ever catch the rabbit. Because if the dog comes closer, the rabbit will just start moving faster. And so in this way, the dog will just never catch the rabbit. And the dogs in the end of the race, they don't go like, oh my, I didn't catch the rabbit again, I don't want to do this anymore, feel like such a failure. Instead, they're like, excited and exhausted and happy because they got to run. And that's the game. They got to run. It's not about catching the rabbit. It's about getting to run. Getting to do what you think is your purpose. What fills you with joy and feels like the why you are here. And he's saying that we're always trying to chase this rabbit. And once we catch one rabbit, or I catch one rabbit, there is a new rabbit, and I can go try and catch that one. And we have this feeling like, oh, I know what I'm missing. Maybe it's like a new house, or $100 million or $1 million, or $1,000 or something, and that's just a new rabbit. And then he says, you are already what you seek. And it's coming to that awareness that can lift us away from this game, I think. Yeah. Okay. Number 3. Peter's weaknesses. I will just read it out loud first. The habit of looking at things only through my perspective and model of the world, rather than taking time to appreciate the person I'm either speaking to or giving instructions to. I think sometimes I can steamroller because I'm so loaded with ideas and excitement, enthusiasm. I already see 25 moves ahead on the board, and I know where I want to put this play. I'm sometimes a little too heavy with my own agenda. I have to stop and take a breath, and to appreciate the other shoes, the other mindset. Be understanding of who you are speaking with. Yeah, I can relate to this. So I think sometimes, especially in the past, I had very clear opinions about the world and what I was thinking was the right thing to do and the wrong thing to do, and the proper thing to do. Like, I was raised as a very proper girl. And when something went against my beliefs, or the way I saw the world, I would simply just be like, no way. It can't be any different than what I am thinking. And then also, I can be so much in need of talking about what I want to say that I forget to stop and listen to the person who's across from me, and realizing maybe they don't need to hear what it is that I want to say. Maybe it's something else, especially when I'm trying to help people. But that I've been having a lot of opportunity to practice with a person who's very dear to me, because he's always in need of something else than what feels natural to me. So every time I have to be like, stop, okay, this is not what he needs to hear, this is not about me, it's about him right now. And I had to learn a whole new way of communicating in order to reach him in a way that was beneficial for him, and not just trying to put my view of the world or my feeling of how things work onto him. Yeah, I'm getting better, much better, I must say. But so I can relate to Peter in this. What about you? Can you relate as well? I'd love to hear about that. Then the other side of the coin is his strengths, right? Or are his strengths. And he says that his strength is that his feeling center here and his thinking center are aligned. Like the vision his conviction, I think it and feel it, it is a lie. It aligns who I am. Like, he has clarity and belief. So, like, he's very precise, I want to say, but like focused in what he wants, and his feeling center and his thinking center is aligned. So that means like the purpose that he feels that is his purpose in life is both his head is believing in this purpose and his feelings are believing in this purpose, and therefore he's very like powerful in a way, because he knows what he wants, and all of his being believes in this, and therefore he radiates this clarity and path. And he says that doors tend to open for him before he even gets to them, because it's already so clear where he wants and needs to go. And then he explains that right now he's on a mission to reinvent the personal development in industry, because he feels that it is fundamentally flawed and broken. And I'm a part of that now. I mean, that's this this course. That's how he's trying to change it into what he believes in and what he believes he can give to the world. And then he furthermore explains, I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I am energized because I'm not swimming through not having the passion or doing this or that to prove to my father, my boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, that I'm good enough. Like, he's not doing this to prove anything. He's doing it because he believes that it's the right thing for him. And it's what he can contribute with in this world. And he says that, next point, willpower and inspiration. So willpower is great. Like, maybe if it's hard to get up in the morning, as it is for me sometimes, then willpower is good to get you up. Sometimes you need willpower to accomplish some things. But willpower has a time limit. Like, if it's always a struggle to do a certain thing, at some point there won't be more willpower left to do that certain thing. You will be empty. And that's where inspiration comes in and is a much better servant in this, because inspiration pulls you from within. Like, it pulls you towards what you want to do. If there's something you really believe in, then you can do it. He comes with this example about marathon runners, and it's hard to be inspirational if this is something that I, for instance, would just do to prove to someone else that I'm good enough. But if I'm running to raise money for a cause that I really believe in, then the inspiration might be able to really carry me through and make sure that I actually do that marathon. And then he's saying, you can ask his question, is your why bigger than you? If it is, then that leads to inspiration. Like, if you have a vision that's backed by ethnocentricity, like a vision that's backed by being good for the greater good, instead of being egocentrism, only good for you. And last point, number 5, all the questions for Peter. So first question, what was holding you back from becoming an entrepreneur? His answer is perception of opportunity at a young age. Second, what's the best advice you've ever received? Stop worrying about what other people think and follow your passion. Now I just have to fully figure out what that passion is. What about you? What's your passion? Where are you in that journey? One personal habit that contributes to your success. He says, my morning routine, getting up at 5 a.m. and focusing for 3 hours on my inner world. I'm trying to do that now, focusing more on my inner world. I am slowly starting to meditate more, and that helps me. I did it this morning, a focused meditation. It was really good. It was in my app, Fabulous, a focused meditation. Anything, Peter says, anything that organizes you better in today's noisy world is like a benefit to you. One book, Peter answers, Power versus Force by David Hawkins. He says that this is a hard book to read and that he wasn't ready for it the first time he tried, but that later on it gave him so much, contributed so much to his life and view of the world. If you are living your life swimming in goop, you will, right, Peter's advice to us, closing advice. If you are living your life swimming in goop, you will always be on the back foot and making decisions from fear and scarcity rather than growth, contribution, cooperation, and abundance. In order to stop and get out of goop, recognize that you are the star of the movie of your life. Nobody else sees you as the star of their movie. You are a film extra in their life, just as they are a film extra in your life. And so they are too busy thinking about what you are thinking of them that they are not thinking something about you. We are all too busy thinking about what other people think about us that we don't have the time or the space to think something about other people. And so when we all realize that nobody's actually thinking about you, about me, it gives freedom also to stop thinking about what other people are thinking about me or about you. Because most people don't care enough about me to actually think something about me. This one is hard because I do end up in thinking a lot about what other people think about me when I'm teaching, because it's important to me to give a class that's beneficial for people. I teach dance, by the way, if you don't know. Different styles of dancing. But I do think I could maybe realize that actually they're way too busy thinking about themselves. Like, how do I look? How am I feeling right now? Am I doing this step correctly? Am I not doing this step right? Oh, can we do this one more time? Or, I looked stupid when I did that. Like, yeah, I guess most people, when they take my class, they are focusing on themselves and what they're feeling and thinking about themselves, and also whether I'm judging them, I guess. Like, oh no, did she see that I did that thing that wasn't correct? Or now she's giving me so much attention. Why is that? Am I really that bad? Oh, but I really hope that they don't think all of those things so much, because that's really what I'm trying to create, a space where it's just okay to be you, and we are just there to have fun, and we're just there to dance and embrace our bodies. And yeah, luckily I get a lot of feedback from my students that they feel really comfortable in my class, and that they love being there and they want to do more, and that it's the first time that they might be able to just be themselves and not think too much about whether they're doing right or wrong. And that's so amazing. That's where I feel like I am successful, I guess. I feel fulfillment because this is my mission in teaching. It's not to teach them dancing. I don't really care about that so much. I just care about them feeling good. I care about them growing. I care about them feeling good in their bodies and learning that they are perfectly good as they are. And there's nothing that they need to prove. Yeah. So exactly the same things that I'm learning in this course. Yeah. I'm very grateful for this course. This was the last point. Week 7 was a quick one. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for listening. I'm so grateful, really. And I'm learning so much, and I hope you are learning something as well. Please share with me anything you want to. And see you next time. Lots of love. Go embrace the day and your life. Love you all. Thank you. Bye bye.